let's talk Schumann resonance. It hit a frequency high of a little under 190, almost 190, over a little bit 190. So it's going through these phases of raising itself. Now, one of the questions that Yvonne asked me was, what's the Schumann? I don't know what the Schumann is. So it was really difficult to explain this to her. So I kind of had Maria chime in, and Maria explained it in a way of tornadoes or hurricanes, how the weather people kind of understand when there's a hurricane coming. It's like it's a weather frequency update and announcement or a warning of sorts, but it's Earth's frequency, it's her own vibration, and she's giving the updates. So the Schumann resonance is able to keep up with that frequency to let humans know what Earth's going through or what it's enduring. Real quick, I want to add this into the video that wasn't live. I'm putting it in now. I was just talking to Yvonne, and she still kind of was unsure about the whole resonance and people being people affecting Mother Earth and the resonance and how does that all work. And the best way Maria described it was, if you were to get sick and somebody gave you the flu, you would go to the doctor and get evaluated, not the person that gave you the sickness. So Mother Earth, she's being affected by people's resonance and their frequency, and it's affecting her intel because her system, the roots, are being affected by our systems, our roots, into her roots, and both network systems are correlating and communicating back and forth, and she's being affected by those emotions, those frequencies, those actions, and those experiences. So then Maria kind of summed it up and said, well, it's kind of like if somebody gave you the flu and you went to the doctor would evaluate you, she wouldn't evaluate the person that got you sick. So the resonance is evaluating Mother Earth, not the people affecting her. It's evaluating her. So the Schumann resonance is the doctor evaluating the patient, Mother Gaia. So the way I was able to explain the Schumann resonance to her was, Earth has a vibration, it has a frequency. It goes through vibrational emotions, just like a human does. And if somebody were to test us on our vibration, they would be able to do it through a device like this, where we're able to keep up with what our own vibrational frequency is going through. So it's kind of neat that we get to see what Mother Gaia is going through when things happen on Earth. So I don't usually keep up with the resonance unless Maria flags it or has me go look at it, or there's a lot of talk about it. I wasn't necessarily looking for it because right now we are working a documentary. There's a lot of filming going on. I'm not really around all the time. We just got the new website up and running, so there's a lot of stuff going on with that. So I haven't been really around or on social media. Unless you're a member of Mooniverse, then you see me every day, and there's something going on that way. But it came to my attention through Maria that the Schumann has been raising. So I went and looked to see what was going on, and then that's when all the messages kind of started flooding in. I've been talking about a lot of this stuff on the KFL. I started talking about this when I came out with who I was in 2014, live on Facebook. So this is many, many years of work and messages and channeling coming to the surface. We are in the second stage of this process right now. So I came on to kind of give you guys a heads up of why is the Schumann resonance getting so high, what's going on, why is everybody having anxiety and headaches and feeling tired. Those seem to be the three main symptoms that Maria kind of pointed out to me to talk about. This is why you guys are getting these high headaches. I've been getting headaches left and right. Found out this morning that it's because of the Schumann. So I'm understanding better like what you guys are going through and why it's happening. So another thing she brought forth was the disclosure. So we're going through a lot of alien disclosure, UFO disclosure. I had told you guys on the KFL about the false flag operation. I even may have come live outside of the KFL and explained to you guys about the false flag operation. The blue beam or blue book, I forget what it's really called, but the blue beam, blue book disclosure is reopened. They're pushing this false flag operation. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't still UFO activity, because they're still overseeing and looking and observing Earth, obviously. But we also have this false operation going on where they're faking these alien things. So, if you guys watch the harvest videos, I talked about the false flag, the operations being reopened, and the reason why. Right, thank you. Maria's talking to me. The reason why they are falsifying these UFOs. I explain this in great detail in the harvest videos, that they want humans to be terrified of aliens and UFOs, so that when the real ones eventually show up to bring you to the fifth dimensional realm of New Earth, then you won't be afraid to go. With the false flag operation, they want you to be afraid to go, because the reptilian race wants you to stay here. They've been feeding off of you. They've been feeding off the human race for so long. They're used to it. They don't want that to change. So they're falsifying these UFO because they know that the activity is heightened, because it's coming to the time of 2030. The reset button is going to be hit on 2030, 2031. And they don't want people being afraid when this happens. They want you to stay as calm as possible, let the process happen, because it has to happen. We can't keep going, humans cannot keep going the way they've been going. But the reptilians are so used to the way things are that they don't want humans changing, leaving, or adjusting what they've been doing. So they're trying to keep it going as far as they can. The timelines have been adjusting and changing. I go through that with the KFL. So we have these false flag operations. There's suddenly a whole bunch of UFO stuff going on, right? There is the real stuff, but there is also the disclosure stuff, because our ancestral UFO family isn't just going to leave us at the wayside because there's a false flag operation. There's a huge difference between the two, and if you don't know what that difference is, then you are still stuck in the third dimensional understanding. You cannot shoot down an alien spaceship. They have a huge high intelligence, awareness, and intuition that their devices don't even compare to what a human can put together mechanically or technologically or device-wise. They have a way to disable arms here on Earth, guns, machetes, bombs, cannons, whatever you want to call what they want to throw out at them. They can disable the entire world of all that stuff within a matter of a second. You cannot shoot down a UFO, okay? And for them to make you think that they can, that these reptilians are all powerful and they can take down any UFO, it's mind-boggling to make people think that they are able to do this. They're not, okay? However, they were able to reverse technology from spaceships that have crashed here because, and okay, so probably a lot of you are like, okay, well, if we can't shoot them down, how are they crashing? Because let's say, for example, there's something environmentally going on, and their spaceship hits like a pocket of whatever this environmental thing is. It could throw off their sensors, and then that's how they crash. In the future, humans do get to the point of spaceships, okay? They're able to, the whole Star Trek, Star Wars thing is legit real. And the reason this was brought to Earth was to kind of give you guys a heads up of hope of, if you guys believe in yourselves, you can overcome and you can get to this point. You can get to be out in space with the rest of the world or the universe, okay? And mingle amongst different races. It's capable. And so in a way, these shows are kind of showing you hope, that don't give up on your race just because things look glim and gloom right now. You eventually will get to that point. There's hope for you, okay? So in these Star Trek, Star Wars, if you notice, their ships go down in certain areas, okay? They hit an environment that they, let's say, for example, they've never been to this world, and they hit an environmental pocket of something that throws off their sensors and they crash, okay? It happens. And it can happen to any UFO. But it doesn't mean that you can physically shoot them down. They're able to disarm that kind of stuff. They have, how do I put this? They have a shielding around the UFO that causes a deflection or a disbursement of whatever's being thrown at them. They have a shielding. If they didn't have a shielding out in the middle of space with cosmic debris and asteroids, they wouldn't survive. They wouldn't be able to go light speed. Their spaceship would be immediately destroyed. They have to have a shielding to get through space. So if they can bounce off asteroids at light speed, what do you think a bullet's going to do to them? I mean, really think about this. It's not going to happen. Okay, so anyway. So their whole point of this is to make people believe that aliens are scary and they shouldn't be on Earth, and when the real ones come, you'll be too scared to go with them, okay? When they're trying to help you, all right? So that's the whole point. Now, the reason the Schumann resonance is hitting high, and the Galactic Federation is fine with the disclosure, because here's the thing about demons and low-frequency reptilians or low-frequency aliens. They're dumb. They're not very bright. Aliens tend to divulge things that they weren't supposed to, and it gives them away. I just had it happen today. And aliens divulge things thinking they're helping their case when really they're hurting their case. So by them doing falsified activity, I really want you to put your mindset into this. What do you think is happening to the human race the more they disclose this stuff? What's happening? People are waking up, and there's this awareness that we're not alone. Like, it's all changing. There's an awareness of awakening. So instead of harming and making people scared, it's actually waking people up to, holy shit, there's actual aliens. They're hurting their case, okay? They're pretty much giving themselves away. Like, we've been here the whole time. They're going to put that veil that has been like secluding them this whole time is going to be flown up and lifted, and everybody's going to start seeing them, okay? So the real UFOs, the falsified UFOs, it doesn't matter. It's still waking humanity up to, we're not alone. That's the point, okay? So Earth, Mother Gaia, her frequency is heightening because what's happening to the people on Earth with all this activity? They are raising Earth's vibration because they are awakening. Think of your feet as rooting into the soil and ground. Roots have a system of communication. We just filmed yesterday at a site where I was communicating with a tree because we were kind of laying on her roots and stuff. And the tree had told me that Yvonne was hungry and that we needed to leave soon because her roots were like flowing into the communication system of Yvonne, which I didn't think trees were able to do that until yesterday. That was really kind of cool to stumble upon that. So she's sitting there and the tree's communicating with her system because our system can communicate with their system and vice versa. So Yvonne, I turned to Yvonne and I go, and the tree then used the roots to come up underneath me because I was laying and I had my feet on the ground, and she was able to communicate with me, hey, your friend's hungry, you might want to think about leaving soon and get her some food. I just thought this was funny. So I turned to Yvonne, I go, are you hungry right now? She goes, well, I wasn't really thinking about it, but yeah, I'm starving. So we got up and we started heading towards to leave. We took a couple more last shots before we left, but we ended up getting her burrito that she wanted. So she got to eat. We got her food, don't worry. So the Schumann is a frequency indicator of what Mother Gaia is going through, because she is able to tap into each person's system through their feet, through their bodies, communicate with their system, as she's a network system. Your network system is colliding with hers, and she's able to feel and understand everybody on Earth. Maria's kind of chiming in. Anyone here that has ever had a hot flash due to old age, she kind of compared it to a hot flash. Like, you're like, oh my God, it's getting hot in here. Woo! And there's nothing calming you down. You're outside, you could have ice on you, you're still not calming down. And she kind of compares it to a hot flash for Mother Gaia, because things are rising up. It's getting hot in here. So that's the way she wanted to explain it to you guys, was things are rising. People are waking up, so she's becoming more alive and aware of their frequencies popping out and awakening. So I wanted to explain what was happening with the resonance, okay? I want to do a video on the 2030-2031 reset. The time is still unsure if it's going to be 30 or 31 based off of where we're going right now. But we are in the first couple stages of the awakening to the new Earth, the fifth dimension. We're not there yet because there's still a lot of people still in the third dimension. You can tap into the fifth dimension if you want to, you know, meditate, but you're not going to be physically there yet because it's not technically happening in that sense. But you can tap in and see what's going on with that. Kind of get spurts of that peaceful tranquility, because that's all fifth dimension is all about, is that love frequency. And you can pull that kind of frequency into your life in spurts, but you still have to be a human on a, you know, a spiritual human that's on this journey of learning and growing. So they want you to kind of continue learning your human life. And, you know, when that fifth dimension happens, then it can be fully embraced at that time. There was something that I stumbled upon, and I don't want to get into too much depth with it because it is, I'm putting it into the book, and I'm hopefully going to be done with the book very soon. It is going to change the whole outlook on paranormal and what's going on with paranormal. It is such a mind-blowing thing that I want to explore more before I put it fully into the book. Why does the Schumann resonance show it's here? If you're talking about the fifth dimension, no, fifth dimension is not here. You would know if you were in the fifth dimension. It is not here. What's happening is there is a heightened awareness happening with many, many humans, and that's what I was kind of getting into, is the consciousness of a soul, and the whole thing of souls lingering and haunting places. There's a whole thing with that. and it's going in my book. I just don't want to give too much on it. I do want to still do a couple more experiments with it, and then I'm going to put those experiments in the book to kind of solidify this is being confirmed through this experience, and it's all filmed, it's all documented, so it's going into the book, it's going on YouTube, it's going to go everywhere. So it's going to change the way we see paranormal activity in general. But as I'm getting into that whole paranormal consciousness and what's actually happening, I'm noticing it on Earth with humans that are alive. There is a conscious grabbing of consciousness with humans. So basically what's happening is dark and light are fighting over consciousness. Just like in the sense of paranormal, but it doesn't go to that extent. But they want you more, they desire you more as you're alive than you are as a spirit. They desire you more as alive because you're making conscious decisions that weigh out where your soul's going to land, in a sense, with your consciousness. Like, where is your consciousness going to go after you make all these decisions and what you're going to do? So there is a battle of consciousness going on. It can very much come off like a fifth dimension chaotic confusion, because some people desire to be in the fifth dimension, but if we were in it, trust me, you would know we were in it. We wouldn't have, I'm just on the top of my head, people arguing. We wouldn't have rioting. We wouldn't have the money system anymore. We wouldn't have homelessness going on. We wouldn't have tailgating and people acting like dum-dums while driving. And we wouldn't have self-centered people only seeing themselves and no one else. I'm seeing a lot of this going on. If we were in the fifth dimension, you would know it. You would know it. We are not in it yet. The Christ consciousness is coming in, okay? It's slowly filtering in, and it's going to bring us to an elevation of fifth energy, okay? Which then starts us on the path of fifth dimension. We are not in it right now. We're getting into the steps of it. We're in the beginning stages of it. There's a battle going on of who's getting whose consciousness and what they're going to do with it in the end of it, all, okay? Oh, okay, so Maria's bringing up the DNA. There is DNA upgrades. She's talking about strands of DNA right now. See, you would have to come into Earth with a certain amount of DNA strands. Okay, so she's jumping back. Okay, so wait, let me write down. Okay, so you came into Earth to learn certain things. So you have a certain amount of DNA strands. To get an upgrade in DNA strands, there'd have to be a specific event to take place for that to happen. So what she's talking about is, and I just lost it again, Maria, bring it back. Okay, so as the frequencies rise, we're tapping in away from third dimension. So the third dimension was like your main basic flight or fright instincts, okay? So that's the third dimension. It's like you have to eat, you have to sleep, you want to make love. Like, those are the three aspects that we tend to follow. I'm hungry. My husband's cheating, I want somebody else. There's making love or love. I want to go home or I want to sleep. Those are the three basic third dimensional things going on. I want to eat, I want to make love, I want to sleep, I want to go home. Okay? I want you to kind of be cautious of your thoughts throughout the day, and I guarantee one of these three, or maybe all three, or maybe just two of the three, come up in your day. It'll be every single day, one of those three, or all three, come up in your day, okay? Those are the basic instincts. We smell, we eat, we taste, we see. as the frequency raises and there's more awareness, we're tapping in, there's a new upgrade of DNA that we're tapping in because there's an event that we're learning from. The only way someone gets a DNA upgrade, not everyone has it, is because we are tapping into an event that we're learning from it. There'd be no need for it unless we're learning from it. So a DNA upgrade happens because you're part of an event or part of a learning system that the DNA had to happen in order for the learning to happen. So the cart doesn't come before the horse is pulling the cart, okay? So the horse being this learning event and the cart being the DNA to allow the learning to take place, okay? So it's falling in lead. So what is that learning? That is tapping in and listening. That's meditation and getting into deep channeling. That's listening to your guides. That's intuition. So that is a new form of reality, right? We went away from the senses, and now we're okay, I have to eat, I have to sleep, I have to meditate, I have to listen, I have to learn. We're getting into those higher frequencies, and the DNA upload or the upgrade allowed it to happen, okay? So not everybody has this DNA upgrade, but it'll be up to the Galactic Federation to allow that download to take place into the environment of Earth, okay? Now, there is kids coming in with higher DNA strands, a higher number, I should say, who are talking to their parents in a more spiritual way. I just put a video up of this little girl explaining to her dad, like, she's like, this is why God sent me here. This is why God sent my brother here. He sent us here to help you with our sister, because the father seems to be butting heads with the older sister, and the two younger ones are trying to help the father connect better with the older daughter, so they're not fighting as much. So she knew she was sent there to help make the father a better man, so that he would connect not in anger but in love with the older daughter. So like, those are the kids with the extra DNA. Now that extra DNA strand comes galactically. It is put into the cosmic system, which is AKA the soul, and then it comes into the physical, and they have more of a heightened awareness of what actually is going on, where a third dimensional being who doesn't have the DNA strand upgrade to kind of take awareness and go, wow, that is like really profound and kind of amazing. There's kids talking about their past lives. This is a higher DNA strand. They're more aware. The DNA strand that's being put in is higher awareness. It's listening and understanding and knowing. There's a knowing. Yes, Marlena, yes. Most of the kids coming, not all the kids, but most of the kids coming in are of that higher frequency, which is also raising the resonance, okay? I think when people see the resonance and they see there's a higher frequency, or the numbers are like really high, they think like, whoo, like we're in it. Well, you are, but not in the way you're thinking. It's almost like there's what I started noticing when Maria kind of showed me this was like, there's a lot of wishful thinking happening, and they're not staying in their reality of, okay, what could this really mean? It's more like, and if there's the thing, and there's another thing I noticed. If you go against, or you say something different to what their mind is going towards, they jump on you. I'm sorry, but that's not fifth dimension. They jump on you as if, and I'm starting to kind of step back and go, no, that person's right. All of you guys are in this cluster, and somebody started you in that cluster. Oh man, Maria, thank you so much. Okay, so Maria started talking to me about Waco and this David Koresh guy. And it's so funny, she just compared it to that. There's a David Koresh on social media. I don't know who it is. Maybe there's a couple of them. And they're taking all their followers and they're just, whoo. I want you to tap in with your guides and say, is what she's saying real? Is this what's happening? Should we be overzealous, or should we come back to reality and say, okay, this is just baby steps towards where we need to go? That's where we're at. These are baby steps on where we need to go and where we're going. We are good. We're getting there, but it's almost like, you know when you put somebody on a pedestal and they've been there for so long and then they do something and it knocks the pedestal out from them? I feel like a lot of people are going to get disappointed because whoever these people are hyping them up, they're going to get knocked down and they're going to sit there and go, well, what the hell? Like, what? Like, everything just kind of died down. Now what? Like, you know what I mean? I don't want people getting hyped up only to be let down and then they start giving up. Because this life is all about faith and connection. It's not about ideology. It used to be back in the day. It's not about devices or electronics. It shouldn't be, but it is. It seems to be. But in reality, in the realities of what we're doing, it's about faith and understanding and knowing who we are in connection to spirit. I feel like a lot of you are on social media, you see a lot of these posts, and then you're starting to get hyped up and then you start going along with the collective. And it's my job, as you guys were led to me and for me to teach you something, and I'm teaching you, please go inward with your guides, talk to them, meditate, find out for yourself what they want you to know about your own reality. Because what I'm starting to see is, as a collective, some of these people are trying to pull you into their reality and you're not learning what they're learning. But there's this hope and faith that we're getting out of this situation that we currently find ourselves in. So you're grasping at all this hope only to be let down. And you won't be let down if you get with your guides and you're on that collective and your spirit team's helping you collectively in the spirit sense of connecting. And I really want you guys to go inward and stick to your own reality of what you're supposed to be knowing and how you're supposed to be knowing it. There's a huge difference with that. Amy, yes, I did talk about that many times in past KFLs, of what an upgrade or a download kind of feels like. There's symptoms to it. There's a lot of sleeping going on, especially if you're getting a heavy download. An upgrade is, they're upgrading you. They're doing something to your physical and your spiritual sense so that you can tap in better. Downloads is information and wisdom from the hall of knowledge in heaven. So taking tidbits of things that we need to know, whether that's past, present, or future, and they're downloading it into the mind. Upgrades are physical and spiritual. Downloads are mental, understanding and knowing. There's two differences. I might even do a video on uploads and downloads and the symptoms that go with. So I'll write that down and I'll do a mini video for YouTube for you guys. Again, if you're not on YouTube, I would strongly suggest subscribing and clicking the bell to all. So anytime I upload something, you guys will get an immediate email letting you know. I don't know if a lot of you know, especially if you're new to my pages and my channel, when I communicate with spirit, my nose really itches. So if you see my nose turning red, oh my God. All right, so show me X for, okay, X for yes, straight for no. It's sort of like a pendulum in a way, and the reason I keep my one hand up a little higher is so that they can cross, because if they're gonna bump into one another if I don't have them like this. Are we in a war for consciousness right now? And as I asked earlier, X's are for yes. The spirit we talked to yesterday was Ralph. He always straightened him out for me. So I'm noticing that Maria's not straightening, so I'll have to do it for her. Wait, oh my God, my nose. Are we to have faith that we will overcome?
Continue what you're going to ask.
Overcome the chaos we're going through. All right, so I'm going to start this over. Oh my God. She already wants to answer yes because she already knows where I'm going with my next question. Oh my God, my nose. I'm doing this to show you guys in proof of Maria talking. This is Maria talking to you guys, not me, because I can hear her. She keeps... okay, wait, hold on. I just lost the question. That's why she's like wobbling it left and right. Do you see her? Yeah, I see what you're doing. All right, hold on. I know. Wait, what was the question? I lost it. Will the date be 2030 for the reset? Will it be 2031? Are we going past 2031 into 30s? Are we going into 2020? Wait, are we in 2024? Man, my timelines are all messed up. 2025? 2035? 2036? She just keep going. 2038? 2040? Do you see how the more it's like starting? Okay, 2045. Wow. Okay, so the timeline we're in right now is we're going towards 2045. Can that change to 2030? Oh, wait, I have to start out. Hold on. Can that number change to 2030? Okay. But the timeline we're on right now is 2045. But if we do certain things to the reality, it can change into 2030. Because you have to agree, like last year is when I got 2030. And now it's changing. It's being pushed. Probably because a lot of people are not accepting the whole UFO right now, because there was supposed to be a full disclosure. Everybody was kind of like it was just like a handful of people that didn't believe in aliens still after all the evidence. There was a huge majority by 2030 or 2031 of everybody believing in UFOs and aliens. And then that's when alien were going to step foot and be in front of all society. And it was supposed to be accepted by them. So they're telling me alien hitting foot on Earth is 2045. And there's your ex. Do you know what I find interesting? So Maria's talking to me about all this, and I had a memory surface when I moved back here. And it was of Christina's sister, Susie. We were leaving the hospital, and I had said to her, I don't know, I was looking at the sky, and I was testing to see where she was on her faith and like awareness. And I said, "Do you believe in aliens?" And she goes, "No, there's no aliens." And I was like, I was kind of blown back. I'm like, wow. So you think you're the only one in the whole world? Like, what? I couldn't wrap my head around somebody actually believing that. And I'm just kind of sitting back, and now there's all this disclosure happening, and I'm just kind of sitting back wondering, does she believe it now, or is she in that small majority that's just like, nah, it's not true? Okay, a mass exit of souls. Well, that's actually already been going on. Basically what's going to be is that is going to continue to happen, mass exits, because a lot of people don't want to be here during that time. And I love how she's straightening it out for me now. So let me see, is there going to be another mass exit? No, it's just a continuing like gradually of mass, oh souls leaving is what I'm getting. Michael, when you get an idea or opportunity in your head, it is part of your soul contract, because your souls are not, or your spirit guides are not going to waste their time or yours showing you nonsense, or a path, unless it's meant to be explored, to be journalized in your mind and experienced. So it technically will be up to you to take the steps forward. All they can simply do is say, hey, they'll show you something in your mind and say, hey, this path is available to you, it's open to you to explore. It'll be up to you to explore it, and then as you collect that data, you'll cross over. Whenever you cross over, you'll go over that data and understand the experience in more depth and detail as to why you were to go on it, okay? Yes, the financial reset is already taking place. Here, let's see. Financial reset is already taking, oh, she almost hit me in the face. Financial reset is already taking place, okay? The reptilian race, the reason that all this is happening, she keeps hitting me, is so that the reptilians can be removed. That's the whole point. The reptilian, guys, if they hit a reset, which is what we're going towards with 2045 on this path right now, the total reset button gets hit, everything shuts down. That's where the 3-day of darkness comes in. I think the 3-day darkness is just a metaphor for, let's say, 3 months or 3 years of darkness, where humans reactivate the system on their own because they've gotten lost along the way with the whole social media and all this other stuff. And they're not looking at humanity with love anymore. It's more with judgment and ego and what can I get from you and what can I take from you. They're not giving or receiving in an equal amount. And there's a lot of hatred going on and fighting. It's just unnecessary. So if there's a reset button happening, and it does take place, the whole reason that would basically happen is to remove the reptilians who are causing all of it. If there's a reset and everything shuts down, it's easier to find them. Nicole, disclosure is gradually happening. And there's not going to be like a big, like, woo, one day happening. It has to happen gradually, because humans can't take drastic surprises. It has to be slowly put upon them so that they can delegate it, dissect it, understand it, feel it. It's a slow process, so it's not going to be just like one day. Angels are not guides. They're a whole different species. They were created to protect God's assets, which are his children, his house, where he keeps all his children. They're kind of like our adoptive moms and dads that kind of oversee us when we're away from home, okay? But they don't guide us. Your spirit guides are a total different team. They are ones that you assign to you to guide you on the soul contract you came up with. The first travelers that came to Earth were your hippies, the peace, love. And right around the 1970s, you start to see this high rate of suicides. Those are the hippies leaving, okay? The hippies, which are the first wave volunteers, the first travelers, galactic travelers that came to Earth, they never left heaven, they never left God. They don't have karma attached. So it's basically throwing somebody into a surgery that never had a background education of how to do a surgery. So they're just kind of standing there like, what the shit? So it's kind of the same effect. They were brought here, they kind of got here and was like, holy, this shit's crazy, this is too hard, I don't even know what I'm doing. So they started leaving. Well, you've got third wave volunteers coming in now. They're very high frequency, and when they come in, I think they expect something that isn't received, and it's way too hard. Maybe they're being abused, and they're high frequency. They don't know what to do. They're empaths. They don't know what to do with that. So they want out. They'll have a chance to come back, but if they don't, they'll just stay where they left from, whether that be a planet, whether that be heaven, whether it be a comet that they're consciously connecting with. It's up to them. Connie, the new generation, I haven't heard that, but if I were to put an aspect on it spiritually, it would probably be for two reasons. One, they don't want to have to deal with karma, and having children can eventually create some kind of karma, especially if you're not getting along with them and there are two different frequencies of learning going on. Or they don't want to bring them into this environment. Like, they see how bad it is and they don't want them, they're empathic and they don't want them enduring that. So they make a decision of not procreating and bringing those souls into existence. Those would be the two reasons I would spiritually connect and understand. That would be it. I have yet to see a fourth dimension, or I'm not fourth dimension, a fourth wave volunteer. I have yet to get a warning about it. I've yet to get an announcement or a dossier on it. There's nothing on fourth wave volunteers coming in. It is simply the third waves, which we are seeing right now. Now, there's two different things going on with third waves. There's two versions of them is what I'm getting. There's the ones that are super sensitive and taking things to an extreme. And then there's the other ones that are full of knowledge. So I feel like a good portion of them, like 50% of them, are emotional empaths, taking things a little too far. And then the other 50% are very in tuned and knowing. And they're not causing problems, they're just observing and teaching. So there's like two versions of them. So yes, so I just wanted to come on and kind of go and explain some of this to you guys. You should start seeing me a little bit more as we get deeper into this battle of consciousness. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you can definitely go back into the replay of this video or go to the YouTube channel Moon Air and watch it there. Marlena, the children the third waves are already here, but there is still some trickling in on it, like sporadically is basically it. They're coming in sporadically. But a good portion of them already started coming in the 1990s. That's when they started coming in. You can't cancel a contract unless you die. Then they cancel the contract is it's not canceled, it's just reviewed after you cross over. Calming down the heart, you're going to want to go towards the heart chakra crystals, which are green and pink. Rose quartz is a huge one. Everybody uses that for the heart chakra. Or you can use like green quartz, green aventurine, green strawberry quartz is a great one. Trying to think. Peridot. Peridot grounds you in the heart chakra. So if you're doing things with your heart, that's a good one, because peridot has aspects of black tourmaline in there and garnet. Just depends on which peridot you get. Epidot is a good one as well. I have an amazing epidot on my side table. It helps me with dreams, so it's a good connection to the heart when dreaming about things. Yeah, just do a little bit of research. You know, if you are unsure about a crystal, like if you Google search it and you're getting like mixed messages on it and you're unsure about it, you can also inbox the team and they can verify it for you through me. Also, guys, we just put up a bunch of new products on crystalcovegems.com for summertime. It deals with stretch marks, it deals with booby lifting and all that booby stuff, and your butt. So and it's filled with crystals, so it's healthy, organic, all natural ingredients. Also, the new Thymes magazine is out, so the team is putting together a page for Thymes on Crystal Cove Gems, so you can easily just go right to the Thymes tab and get any of the current Times or past Times, whatever magazine you want to read. It was a good article. I had fun making it. So it was all about masculine and feminine energies and that duality. So it's kind of neat. All right, guys, I will see you guys soon. I have to get to work. I went over my time limit of talking to you guys, and we have a ton of stuff to do. I have so much work. So I will talk to you guys soon. And those of you on the Mooniverse membership, I will see you guys Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in our community group. Okay, love you guys. Bye.